You have to fight over the bottle a little bit. So, sunshine, give me the bottle. Oh, no, don't worry. We're friends. I can pour mine. No. Give me the bottle. Give me the, no. Best feeling if you do that.
That just shows like how much experience like Sunshine-san has in Japan.
I can teach you a way to sound professional in Japanese without learning one single word of Japanese. All you have to do is remember one sound. If someone is pouring your sake, you say
こんにちは、全人類と友達になる男、僕がミスターフジです。そしてパンです。そして
ユナイモです。そして
エアホーンス
桂サンシャインでございます。どうぞよろしくご指導ご鞭達のほどお願い申し上げます。
ありがとうございます。
特にご鞭達が好きやね。ご鞭達。
無知で
打ってください。
知的にはそのイメージはないけれども、また桂サンシャインさんにお越しいただきまして、コラボさせていただくことになりました。ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
今日のテーマはカルチャーショック落語を披露してもらおう。
新しい。
最近ですね、概要欄貼っておくんですが、桂サンシャインさんのこの YouTube の動画、これがバズっていると。その中身っていうのが披露されてる落語をそのまま YouTube に載せられてっていう文化の違いにフォーカスしてるものがあって、めちゃくちゃ面白いっていうのが
ハードル高いわ。
いやプロに
ちょっと面白い。めちゃくちゃって言うともう照れます。ビビります。落語家の枕は大体本当に自分の目の前で行われたことはこれ面白いなと思ってそのまま舞台にもう話しますっていうこと。ネタたまにどうやってネタ作るのって言われるけど作らないんですよ。気づく
実際体験したこと
ただその修行中とかそのだんだん成長していくのはネタ考えることが上手になるんじゃなくてアンテナが張るだけ。日常にやることをこれネタになるなっていうだんだん気づくだけ
ということで、今日は桂サンシャインさんに
よろしくお願いします。
披露していただきたいと思います。それでは
Let's find out! First thing, the story that I'm performing these days in Asakusa has a lot of sake drinking. There's many rakugo stories have drinking sake as part of it. But for my guests of the rakugo in English, I have to explain sake drinking manners before we start this story. Because drinking sake in Japan has a little bit complicated manners attached to them. Some of it is very much the same as anywhere else, the West, Europe, that kind of thing. Some of it is a little bit different. And there's rules. The rules are very easy to remember. But the reason behind the rules, that's where the value of a Katsura Sunshine ticket comes. So it's like this. Basically, if you're pouring a bottle of wine in America, Canada, Paris, wherever, you pour maybe ladies first. And then your gentlemen guests, yes, right here. Okay, you want to do this? Gentlemen, I don't know why you're pouring into your hands like that. That's a very big wine glass. And then you pour your own. No, the host, right? Sake, almost the same thing. Pour your guests first. But first rule, you should not pour your own cup of sake. That is called tejaku, and you should not do it. Now, here's where it gets complicated. You should not do it because it's rude. Usually, if I say don't do something, it's because it's bad manners, because it's rude, right? Don't wear your shoes on a tatami floor, right? Because it gets dirty. That's just bad manners, it's rude. Pouring your own cup of sake, tejaku, is not rude. Usually say, don't do this because it's rude. No, it's not rude. The reason you should not do it is because you are exposing the rudeness of the other people for not noticing that your cup is empty and taking the bottle from you and pouring yours. So it's kind of like in Japanese you say, ki tsukau. 相手の失礼を示すことやめましょう。だから定着しない、right? That's a little bit complicated. Right now, it gets more complicated. You should not pour other people and pour your own. because that's what I just said. However, you should not pour everyone else and put the bottle down. Because if you just put the bottle down, you look like you're waiting for someone to notice that your cup is empty. It's the same result. What do? You cannot pour your own sake. You cannot put the bottle down. What do? This is where the value of a katsura sunshine. You pour everyone else's, and then you make a small fake, a feint, a phase, action with no intention of actually pouring your own sake, and then people at the table say, "Oh, sunshine, sunshine, give me the bottle, give me the bottle, give me the bottle." Right? Now, like us in Canada, the West, we are prone to overaction. You do not need to go like this. You don't need big actions in Japan. People are very well adjusted to noticing subtle social signals. So you just pour, and boom. You could even just use your eyebrows. Pour.
I believe he does that when we're not drinking.
And if you do that, I guarantee you 3-4 people at the table say, "Oh, give me the bottle, give me the bottle, give me the bottle, give me the bottle, give me the bottle." Huh, there's lesson 1.
That is so much value.
That's a sunshine ticket. Yeah, that's it. Sunshine ticket. Do you do the fake too? If you're pouring for everybody, and then do you do this? What's your move? Do you do the eyebrows? Do you do the Do you do this? やっぱ。
いやもうプロ日本人になると
Okay.
止まるそう手酌をされてる方がいたとして、もうこっちはもうついてもらった側ね、なんだろう、サバンナのライオンチーター、待ってるから、みんなの次終わるの待ってるから、次終わったら、いややりますよ、やりますよ。
The cheetah move.
Cheetah move. So when your cup is full, you turn into a cheetah, and you're just like this. And
Especially the first round. When I put this lesson on YouTube or on Instagram, a lot of people wrote like, "This just sounds like it's such a big pain to drink in Japan. Like, this is crazy, right?" And I say, no, this is only for the first maybe half an hour.
Yeah.
Then people just do whatever they want, right? So, but I think if people have an image that this lasts for 3 hours, it shows, and then they purposely make very, very small cups so that like you finish and again.
Right.
Like, it's just for the beginning, right? But very important.
Yes.
すごい勉強になる。
Important rule to live in Japan. Yeah, the right way.
なんかそうさ、学校で教えてくれないからさ、もう本当に学校とか行かないで、サンシャインさんの
Social lessons. Yeah.
確かにね、日本行きの飛行機の中のモニターあるじゃん。あれで教えてくれたらいいよね。サンシャインさんが流したらね。
日本に着く前に。いや、いいですよね。ギャルさんに。
めっちゃいいと思う。
We've been talking about how they need to do that for every airline so that they know just some rules when they come to Japan, and maybe place would be a little bit better because the guilt shaming in Japan or just like the looks, people don't know what to do. It's like, oh wait, why are they looking at me weird? Why is it not okay to talk on my phone, right? When I'm in the train.
Yeah.
I can't tell that it's bad because no one has told me. Right?
100%. 1本目は手酌っていうことはやめましょうけど、やめるのは失礼だからじゃなくて相手の失礼を示すことになりますから気遣いでやめるっていうことですよね。ややこしいわ日本語でした。その続きがございます。これ手酌の続きがまだ酒飲みのマナーなんですけれども。So when you do like for you said I just stop. For me, I do my eyebrows or make a motion, whatever it is. When they say, "San, give me the bottle, give me the bottle, give me the bottle," do not hand the bottle over immediately. Because you expose yourself as a faker for doing this action, right? You have to fight over the bottle a little bit. So, sunshine, give me the bottle. Oh, no, don't worry. We're friends. I can pour mine. No. Give me the bottle. No. 2 or 3 times, then hand over the bottle. Best feeling if you do that. Now, step 3. This is short, so step 3, right? Do not smile when you give the bottle. Do not look happy because you expose yourself as a fraud or as a faker for doing this whole action. So give me the bottle, give me the bottle. Best manners, yeah. So you don't want to give it over, right?
That just shows like how much experience like Sunshine-san has
Yeah.
in Japan, right? For him to notice these tiny, tiny little behavior patterns from Japanese people, right? Have you smiled and gave it to somebody before? Has that happened to you?
I'm sure I've done it all. I mean, whenever I learn new manners that I didn't notice before,
Yeah.
I automatically flash back to all the times I broke those rules.
Oh, God.
And I thought, that's why that person looked at me weird that time. And it's all like, I have a terrible memory, but I have a photographic memory for any time I've offended people. I sort of don't understand why. And then years later, someone will say like something like that. And then I'll say, oh yeah. Oh, I smiled. And sometimes I call the person and apologize.
Oh my goodness.
3.5 years ago, do you remember when we were doing the sake and I smiled at you? And they're like, no. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Oh my god.
Anyway, apologizing in Japan is never bad, so.
Yeah.
ちょっとね、今なんかこんなに分析されて、日本人としてちょっと裸見られてる感じでちょっと恥ずかしい。
自然になってるマナーですから、
はい
分析したことないと思う。
いやそうそう、だから考えたことなかったから、
そうそうそうそう
今言われてなんかちょっと恥ずかしいってなって。
言われてみると、ああ、そうやなっていう。カナダのことだったら一緒や。他の国の人がカナダはこうとか言ったら、いやなんか考えたことないなと。まあ一緒だと、東大元暮らしって言えば。
It seems that there's a lot of, well, for lack of a better term, I'm going to call them arguments or disputes, right? So you fight over the sake bottle. You also fight over the bill, right? If you want to like pay the whole thing, it just seems that there's just conflict throughout going throughout the whole experience of going to the restaurant with your friends, right? How many conflicts are there? Okay, sake, denpyo, what else?
お水を取りに行ったりとか、そのセルフ
Oh, that as well,
Yeah.
right? When you get water for everybody, yeah. There's a lot of
とか、お
conflict.
しぼりを配るとか。
That being said, Japan is very well organized. Like think about, I wasn't thinking of going this direction, but think about toriyazu biru.
Ah, yes, that, yes.
That is.
Simple,
Yes.
right?
Make it simple.
Yeah.
Get the drinks out. It is so good that way. Even if beer's not your first choice, just like Toriya's beer, okay, we get it out, we start drinking, and then you have what you want after that, right?
Right.
確かに。
We talk about it on the channel a lot. We're just, in the West, we're used to going, I want to drink what I want to drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? But then
Yeah.
in Japan, because you don't want to trouble the person who is pouring the drink, and then on top of that, because he's taking too long, you're going to overall slow down the kanpai. And we've never thought about that to begin with. It's like
100%.
if I don't order beer, then I'm lagging the team behind from everybody cheersing at the same time. I've never had to think about that in my life until I moved to Japan.
Yeah.
あとちょっとわずかに店員さんも最初大変だろうしなっていう心もある。
Yeah.
ちょっとだけね。ちょっとだ
もう気遣いの上の気遣いの上の気遣い、もう気遣いの塊だよ、これは。Japanese tend to go out in bigger groups a lot. Like, I don't know how many times I've gone out in Canada with like 6 people or 8 people or 10 people, that kind of thing. It's not as much as in Japan. It's pretty normal after a day of work or out with your friends. For us at the show, after the show, we do uchiage. For sure, there's at least 4 or 6 people. If there's some customers, it's more. So when you have these groups, I think that led to really good organization. Just like, okay, let's just get started.
Yeah.
So like you say, don't trouble the waiter too much. Don't take too much time. Let's get drinking. That buys time to decide what you want. Look at the menu, that kind of thing. Ah, 日本人に生まれてよかった。
生まれたか。
そう見えてきた、見えてきた。
Yeah, but also the bill. Okay, we have that too. In my parents used to fight with the other parents who gets to pay. I always thought that was really cool. Like everyone's trying to be generous. That's awesome. And then there's warikan, which is like go Dutch. Japan has another one that I've never seen anywhere else, which I think is so cool. Like, okay, if it's 10 people, one person paying, it's a lot of money for one person to pay. But the person who's kind of the head of the group or who organized it, they'll say, okay, ladies 2,000 yen, gentlemen 4,000 yen, and then it's easy, right?
Wow.
And that person usually takes maybe half the bill. So they're making it very cheap for everyone else, but they're not stuck with the whole bill. Maybe they take half, maybe they pay. でも絶対多めに、言ってる人は絶対多めに払う。 そしたらみんなすごい安く感じるし、まあ大体男性の方が女性より飲むんじゃないかって言って、そういうバランス取って、女性2000円、男性5000円って言って、everyone feels good. That way of organizing too, I've never seen anywhere but Japan.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
会社とかだったら偉い人の方が金額が高い。部長1万円、で課長は5000円、平社員は2000円でいいよみたいな。
面白い。そういうのもありますよね。
そういうのもある。
Hey, wow. Oh my gosh. Like that. Yeah, you're right. I've never seen that in the West. There are so many times I've been to the restaurants with my friends of like 10 or more years, and we've all used a calculator.
Yeah.
We all just like put the receipt down. What did you specifically order?
That's
Okay,
funny.
and then we put it down, right? That's why it's easier to get like tabe hodai. Because everybody pays the same and it's easier. But then if we go to like a diner, there's like tax and there's tip and we have to calculate all of that. And we're there for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so trying to calculate.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's bad for the waiter or waitress because usually if you're just calculating your own, I find people do not tip very well on that, right? If you're paying the whole bill, then you tend to like take a good 20, 25, 30% and put it out. But when you're calculating only your own, it's something in your mind that other people are also paying. So I don't know. I find the tip ends up very small for the person as well. You know? Now, that may be the system in companies, the rakugo system. 一番先輩っていうか一番兄弟子とかは必ず全部払う。これがまた人数多くなると見る兄弟子たちの顔見るとか、ちょっと待ってお兄さんは上、じゃあ安心できる。自分より上の人いたらまあ何も払わなくていいっていう時もあれば、たまに私見たことあるんですけど、ちょっと売れてる後輩がいて、売れてる後輩って売れてるっていうかかなりお金持ってるみんな知ってるこの人がちょっとした落語のスターとか、でその先輩がそこまでじゃないとか家族がいるとかいろいろちょっと事情でうまいこと先輩の顔を傷つかずに、いつも払っていただいてますから今回はお兄さん出しますとか、それか我々はもうこの集まり 1,2 だからまだ半分とかだからその後輩がちょっといいって言ったら分かったっていう
ということで割り勘でした。
割り勘でした
結構遠くなったけどOkay, so next I have to tell my audience, my English-speaking audience, I can teach you a way to sound professional in Japanese without learning one single word of Japanese. All you have to do is remember one sound. If someone is pouring your sake, you say otototototototototototo. It's not a word. It's just an onomatopoeic sound of the sake pouring into the cup. I think a little bit old-fashioned. I don't think you get too many 18-year-olds saying But these days, all 18-year-olds are only drinking Calpis water, so you don't have to say for that. It's for sake, right? And then the other person should say ma, right? Now, here's the thing. With wine, when you pour wine, it's half a glass or maybe a third of a glass of wine is the way it's mostly poured, right? But with sake, it should be poured to the top. In fact, it goes, so this is what I've noticed about Japan, is so precise and detailed. And the spirit of like kiwameru, taking a skill to the very edge of your possible expertise is kiwameru. Even pouring sake contains kiwameru because it's poured to the top. Not just to the top, but the surface tension of the liquid causes it to go over the top without spilling. That's a perfect cup of sake. So this can cause slight problems in two cases. Number one, for me, Canadian, I get very excited, so I say, spill the sake. It's a waste of sake. But the other thing is, if you're pouring sake and the other person says, for us, it really sounds like they're telling you to stop. Especially if they're getting really into it, right? Like you're pouring, it's like, I'm sorry. Do not stop. Because they'll say, why is Sunshine being so cheap with the sake? It's supposed to pour to the top. So I always say, look, this is the way you think about Japanese communication. There's two modes, honne and tatemae. Honne is what you feel in your heart. Tatemae is what you say for social situations. Most of the time, same thing. Say what you think, no problem. But sometimes you have to separate the two. So if you hear someone, you're pouring sake, and they say, otototototototo, it sounds like they're saying, no, 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 no. But what they're really saying is, go, 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 go.
That's great.
Easy way to remember.
Oh my god. That's what I think in my heart every single time. I'm like, go, 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 go. I'm like, please pour me more, pour me more. I want to drink. I want to drink.
No, I love it. Pouring to the top, but also you want to go farther than that. I love the masu, and then you have the glass inside the wooden box, and they spill over.
Yes.
And they go over the top. They literally go over the top in this country. I love it. I always imagined, like, okay, well, then they should put it to the top of the box, and then we need a bigger container under that. And then they should put it into the...
マトリョーシカ方式。
酒の祭りをしかと思って
ああいうオノマトペとか、音を表してる日本語、最高に楽しい。
Yeah.
That makes Japanese just so colorful.
Yeah, it does.
So it's so much fun. So much fun. Sometimes you hear one and you've never heard it before and you already know what it means.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
so good. That's how good it is.
ね、うん。
それほどよくできてる。聞いたことないけどもう意味わかった。素晴らしい。
That's one of the levels that you have to pass when you're learning Japanese. If you can feel an onomatopoeia, you've advanced your level so high.
That's like that's the joy of making your first oyaji gag. Like the first time you understand one, it's fun. But the first time you make one and all the Japanese people around you laugh, it's like, I've graduated. I'm Japanese.
Do you remember the first one you made? I remember the first one I made.
What's the first one you made?
Yeah. I don't know. It was just, I tried it because, you know, I think with like don igigo, right, for homophones. So if the kanji needs to be the same, and then the word needs to be the same, and it wasn't a very good one, I'll just say that. But my friend, she was telling me how she was just so tired. It's like, 今日めっちゃ疲れてる。今日辛かったですよね。Because it's tsurai. Right? And then she looked at me like that, and I'm like, I did it! I did it! That's the first one! I did it! I did it!
ステルス親父ギャグやってくるから間違えてるかいや多分これボケてるなと思って
めっちゃ使う。
ありがとうございます。
めっちゃ使う。
I had to think about, like, okay, if it has to be the same kanji, then that's the only
that's
way
such a good-
that
that's
they
a good
will
one.
understand. Yeah.
I had a similar one, and it didn't end up being a joke, but a bit of confusion is when I went with my shisho, with my master. He performs in very big theaters. You come out of the dressing room, and at one point they have one theater. The dressing room is behind the stage, so you have to go around to the wings. And it said on one side it said kamite, and on the other side it said shimote. And kamite and shimote are written. We'll probably put it on the screen here, maybe. Kamite and shimote are talking about the left or the right side, basically. Stage left, stage right. Kamite, shimote. However, you could also read those kanji, jozu and heta. And I'm like, why does this theater differentiate between the good actors and the bad actors? The bad actors have to go this way. I don't get this. It was driving me crazy. Until finally I asked my auntie, "Nande jozu heta kaここに書いてあるの?" 何の何って言って、いやいや、kamite, shimote. なるほど。
ドキドキしますね今日あっちなお前今日ダメな日か
そう日本の細かさ、車の中の座ってる順番は上座って言えば車の中は運転士の真後ろでしょ、が一番偉い人だ。うちの師匠がその大きい車に乗った時に必ず弟子が運転してるその弟子の真後ろ、その第二の人はそのそばとか前にはちょっともっと下の人ね、ところが私は10年年上のお世話になってる京都の素晴らしいレストランのマスター20年ぐらい友達だけど、いつもレストラン行ったらバー行くその後、車乗るタクシー彼がいつも先に入るわって言って like excusing himself for going into the taxi but he's sitting in the kamiza from what I'm looking at, and I was thinking like okay but that's where he belongs because he's 10 years older than me, so that's fine. But he always says it and goes in. Finally, I said, why? なんで先に行く？これが神座だからなんで失礼 失礼先に行くとか、失礼じゃないけど、先に行く。先にいてあげるっていう感じ。I'll go in there for you. But you're sitting in the top spot. That's what I don't get. That's what I asked him. And he said, very, very detailed Japanese culture. If the other door was open, then that would be the case. But because you have to go into the car and push yourself over, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, the actual top place becomes the second person in, so diagonal. So I am offering to go in to take the lower place for you, and you just haven't noticed over the last 2 years. I'm like, naruhodo.
What?
Most of the right people you should make it as easy as possible for them. And when you think about it, you always should go ladies first. But if a lady is wearing a kimono or a dress, it's harder to slide over. So you should actually go in before. It's actually very similar to Western rules the same way. But I just never know. So he's like,先に行く. I was like, 当たり前. 10年上だから。じゃあ最後のドリンキングマナー入っていいですか？
お願いします。
これはね、私はものすごく遅い段階で知ったやつ。多分今まで日本に来てから、今25年経ってるんですけど、日本に来てから一番このマナー知った時に、今までの態度公開した。だからめちゃくちゃ失敗したことある。めっちゃクリアに残ってるんですけど、乾杯やるときに、相手が目を入れたら、下にこう乾杯するでしょ。下に、両手でこう下。You have to put the cup under their cup. これは、5年前ぐらいしか知らなかった。
What? Oh!
One day I was drinking at a bar, and it was a lady from the Philippines who I happened to be drinking with.
Nice.
But she was a mama of a hostess club. So this was an after-hours bar where the hostesses came in Osaka. The hostesses came after. So she had, these kinds of people have perfect manners, right? She got like manners out the, like, whoo, she could write a textbook on manners. Okay? So we're drinking, and she said, "Kanpai," and I happened to cheer her below her cup. And she looked at me, she said, "Very good manners." I said, "What are you talking about?" I just said, "Cheers."
Yeah.
She said, "No, you put it below my cup." I said, "Yeah, so what?" She said, you know.
Yeah.
That's good manners, right? I said, "No, I just thought I was saying cheers." I said, No. In Japan, you should put it below the cup. That's if I'm Meiue. I'm not Meiue to you, so I wasn't expecting that. That's why I'm complimenting you. I'm like, "Is that an actual rule?" And she said, "Yep."
The shock.
Oh my God. My Japanese life flashed before my eyes. The number of times I've been drinking like president of a company. Kanpai! Oh my God. I regret.
Oh my
I
goodness.
regret.
師匠とか大丈夫でした？
大体修行中は離れてるから乾杯だけ。これはやったことなかったから。
そうなんだ。
多分兄弟子とはやったことあると思うけど、あの人たちは多分カナダ人だから知らんから、それかなんか逆にそれが冗談だったかわかんないけど、なぜかあのピンポイントのルール誰も教えてくれなかった。
なんかそれを言うのもちょっとダサいというか、
教える？
そう、なんか教えるというか、
そう。
つまりいやいやこっちが上なんだからちゃんと下に下ろせよっていうのがちょっとダサいから。
そうですよ。でそこが問題。相手をマナーを教えるのは自分が偉そうになるから、だからこそ結構日本人は教えてくれない。教えたくないんじゃなくて、仕方ないと思いながら、教えたら相手に失礼とか、ある意味でまた気遣い。
You know what Japan feels like to a Westerner? It feels like a huge escape room. Right? Like you go into a drinking party and then you do something and then people look at you weird and you're like, what? And of course people don't actually write on a whiteboard, but that's what goes on in your head. Like, why did they look at me weird? What did I do wrong? Right?
Yeah.
But then nobody tells you, so you have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a great image.
Yeah. But
you finally figure it out because you overhear a conversation, you open one door, and there's 7 more rules that you...
yes.
But it's not like they made these rules to like bother foreigners or perplex foreigners. Just like rules are actually not rules. They're actually just descriptions of how people naturally behave. Now, when this society behaves in this way, everything goes smoothly. So then it becomes a rule, but it's actually it's not born a rule. No, there's no Japanese person in the Jomon period saying if you are saying cheers to someone who is older than you, make sure you put your cup there. Nobody's making these rules. It's just the way people behaved became codified, right? 友達同士 sometimes you said sometimes you use otototo just for a joke, right?
Yes,
You were
yes.
saying, right? Like, half a joke is fun, but also like when you're with your friends, so it's equal. There's no joge kanke. There's so then if someone goes down, the other person goes further down, and it goes further down, and it goes further down. You get down to the floor. Then it's whoever has the lower glass wins.
Right.
If it's Toriyazu beer, you're the same. You're out of luck.
大体同じくらいの友達だった時は、こうやって下に行って、これ以上下に行けないというところで、机にパンってつけて、もうそのままチーってやってる。もう自分たちが決めたわけじゃない。
そうそう。机が決めた。
Exactly. Blame the desk. Blame the table. Next time we're with our friends, everybody's gonna put their glass down. Hi, kampai, and we all push.
Okay, invite me to that.
Okay, we're gonna do it. Let's film that.
ということで、桂サンシャインさんの
ありがとうございました。
カルチャーショック落語でした。
ありがとうございます。
はい、ということで今日は桂サンシャインさんにカルチャーショック落語を披露いただきました。面白かった。
面白かった。
You know, it's really funny because when you came here and I'm not sure if we filmed this or on or off camera, but we were talking about how, you know, Sunshine-san, he presents his perspective on the Japanese culture from a Canadian point of view. And then we do the same thing on our channel. And just earlier when we were having lunch, I was just like, bro, this is great. Like, he does the same thing that we do. We just present how this looks to us as foreigners, and this is a great person to collaborate with. Honestly,
Yeah,
this is so
amazing.
much fun.
You know, first time you guys invited me onto your show, I said, "Oh, who are these guys?" I watched a bunch of episodes. I said, "They're doing the same thing I do." It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Just different topics.
There we go.
Some of the same topics too. ありがとう。ご縁本当に感じます。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
All right, you two. So if there's anything to plug, you can look at this camera. You can look at that camera. Anything is fine. Okay. All right, Sunshine.
いいですか？
お願いします。
いや、皆さん、東京に来られる方が、東京に住まられてる方は、毎月浅草で1週間、木馬亭という素晴らしい寄席で落語させていただいてます。これは英語で I am performing 落語 in English every month in Asakusa in Tokyo. Please come out if you have time. The other day, you came.
I did. That was amazing. Oh man, I like just the same thing that happens here at the shoot. My cheeks hurt. Every time Sunshine-san is here, my cheeks hurt. And at the show, I was like, they hurt, but I can't stop laughing.
Byron is the ideal audience. I want to pay him to come every time. This is my original fashion line. It's called Isen, I-S-S-E-N. And this is a special material that, and now he's about 80, 81 years old. Shokunin-san in Gunma Prefecture invented this material that they interlace metallic thread into the normal fabric. So according to the angle, it sparkles. Hanshasuru. It sparkles,
wonder.
right? And so this black shirt will have gold inside it, but you can choose the metal. So I have a silver one, I have a bronze one, there's green, pink, that kind of thing. So only on certain angles you can see the black becomes pink. But it's also in these, my friend Tomoyo-san drew a kind of sunshine world, and I printed it onto a fabric. It's the same fabric.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So this is kind of new project. Fukugyo.
Wow.
Fukugyo is a second career or a second job or a second activity. But fuku means under. So I'm rakugoka, and under that my fukugyo is fashion design. But fuku also means clothing, so it's a bit of a pun, right? Fukugyo, fuku dake ni.
It makes you into like an ultra rare Pokemon card. You know, like, it's a holographic.
失礼、多分失礼よ。それ。
はい、シンガーソングライターの柳井もです。自分で作詞、作曲、編曲などなどすべて一人でやってるので、ぜひ Spotify でチェックしてくれたら嬉しいです。よろしくお願いします。
お願いします。
はい、2人のね SNS 概要欄貼っておきますので、特にサンシャインさんの木馬亭での落語を見に行ってみてください。 ださい。
お待ちしてます。
それでは次の動画でまたお会いしましょう。バイバイ。チャンネル
と
録お願いします。
イエス